There is a lot here at stake with this meeting tomorrow. Those vaccine advisors, all appointed by Secretary Kennedy, have the power to change the recommended childhood vaccine schedule. That in turn affects which vaccines your health insurance is or is not required to pay for. It comes as two former CDC officials sounded the alarm today on Capitol Hill, telling senators they worry children will get sick or die unnecessarily.
I believe preventable diseases will return, and I believe that we will have our children harmed for things that we know they do not need to be harmed by. Polio, measles, diphtheria, whooping cough.
A dire warning from former CDC Director Susan Menares. She was appointed by President Trump, but he fired her last month after just 29 days. Menares says her boss, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., had become angry because she wouldn't fire career scientists or pre-approve changes to vaccine recommendations. Shortly after Menares was fired, 4 other top CDC officials quit in protest.
I resigned because CDC leaders were reduced to rubber stamps, supporting policies not based in science and putting American lives at risk.
At today's Senate hearing, several Republican senators had harsh critiques for the former CDC officials, accusing them of trying to undermine the Trump administration and questioning whether all childhood vaccines are necessary.
It just makes no sense to me that every person needs every vaccine. See, everybody's like blithely going along. We can't change the childhood. You're somehow terrible if you want to change the childhood. We should be discussing what is the childhood vaccine schedule.
But other senators say they believe vaccines are important.
It is absurd to have to say this in the year 2025, but vaccines are safe and effective.
Back in June, HHS Secretary Kennedy replaced all 17 members of the previous vaccine advisory panel, who combined had more than 460 years of medical experience. Some of the new members are known vaccine skeptics. It comes as the panel is set to discuss recommendations around 3 vaccines this week: COVID, hepatitis B, and MMRV, or measles, mumps, rubella, and varicella. An NBC News investigation found in nearly 80% of counties and jurisdictions in the U.S., vaccination rates have decreased over the past 6 years. And just last month, a gunman with anti-vaccine views opened fire at the agency's headquarters in Atlanta, killing 1 police officer.
And fired CDC Director Susan Menares said today at the Senate hearing that Secretary Kennedy allegedly never called her after the CDC shooting to express concern or support for the employees there. He did pay a visit to the facility the following week. Secretary Kennedy did post on X several times today throughout the hearing, thanking the Republican senators who criticized the former CDC officials. Now, we also received a statement from HHS saying in part, Susan Menares acted maliciously to undermine the president's agenda and was fired as a result. Some of her biggest offenses include neglecting to implement President Trump's executive orders, making policy decisions without the knowledge or consent of Secretary Kennedy or the White House, limiting badge access for Trump's political appointees, and removing a secretarial appointee without consulting anyone. Now, the Senate Health Committee says it has invited Secretary Kennedy to testify as well in the coming weeks. Back to you.
All right, Aimee Cho live for us this afternoon. Aimee, thank you.